All right, so at long last, I finally get to start putting this car together since I got the headliner in. So there's a little list of tasks that I need to take care of along the way. And I've been working on the doors back here some, but I didn't really. I started to film some of that and I thought, that's not very interesting. But I'm just. And meantime, before I get back into that, I've got to paint these little trim. These go on the B pillar right up top near the headliner, one on each side, and they just kind of finish the little space there. So I've got to clean those up. I've already run them through the wire wheel over there, which is that wire wheel's got a problem with it, like a bearing's going out in it. So I'm going to coat them with a little bit of wax and tar remover. Do that, and then get the doors done. Work on my dome light. Something I noticed about this dome light lens. I don't know where this one came from. I don't know if this is one I bought as an aftermarket. It looks awful recent, but there again, if you look at it closely enough, let me see if I can find a good flat surface here. It's not flat. Not flat. It's not flat. It's not flat. Doesn't sit in there flat. It's off. So, yeah. So I'm gonna deal with that. Probably get the heat gun out with it. Deal with that a little bit. See if I can get that done, and then I'm gonna change this latch up here in the driver's door because the difference is there's hardly any difference in this latch assembly, but the one that's in there does not have the feature where you pull on the inside door handle and it pops the door lock up. This one has that. This is like, I'm not gonna make this its own segment because it's not interesting enough, but get out of there. Anyway, the way it works is you pull on this thing and it's got a feature where it will click the lock up, but I don't know how to do it right now. I think that might be it right there, but no matter. I'll show you when I get to. I'll make a little feature on it with a video camera, but I'm gonna swap those out. That's from the 73, so they should just go right in there. The only thing I did notice again is that the clips on these are all plastic on the later model, and the ones that are in there now are metal. So we'll investigate that. All right, well, let me continue with this fun stuff here. Come back to you in a little bit. All right, so one thing I'm working on right now, since I got my headliner finished up, is I'm redoing the rivets in these door windows. These are the little things that hold them together. I'll show you what they look like when they're installed. And so one thing to note is that this looks like this is a nice hand grip or something. These come in from towards you. But you need to be sure before you put them in that you take a small hammer and just put these and just tap these things till they kind of break loose, because this is the insert for the rivet. You're supposed to push this once you get them in. You're supposed to push this inward so that it spreads these, keeps them spread out. So helps them stay in there. So I was sitting over here working on this door and I about went ass over tea kettle. So I'll show you what happened here. Places are a disaster anyway, but so this is this stool. It's this Goodyear racing stool, just like what they use in Goodyear racing teams, I'm sure. And this came with this little shop shed garage building here. It was here when I got here, and this thing has progressively gotten worse and worse. So the wheels have gotten worse on it. So after I caught myself, I looked around to see what was going on. And there's a wheel laying over here, caster, which is dropped out of somewhere. There, that one's there, that one's there. Uh-oh, that one's out there. There's this. I think we can fix that pretty easy. Stick it back in there. Yeah, that'll be fine right there, like that. Yep, this is perfect. Put that back on there. Well, I gotta get some more casters for it. bottom line, because these are just too worn out. All crunched over and bent. The ball bearings have come out of them. I keep having to tighten them up, so I'll get some casters for it. But. All right, well, that's all that's going on with me right at this moment. I nearly fell off my chair. All right, see you in a minute. So one thing I was going to do while I had all this apart was I was going to swap out the driver's door latch with the newer one from those 73, that door I have off that green 73, for one specific reason, and that is because that this one has, look here, when you pull the door latch on the inside, it pops the lock up like that. But that would have been nice to have. That way you don't have to reach back and undo it behind you. But the problem I ran into is that this door latch is probably physically fine, but as far as fitting, but the connections are all made with these little plastic connectors right here. And the problem with that is they're a million years old, 40 plus years old, and I don't know how much life they have left in them. But the other thing is that the size of the connections decreased, which means the rod that goes in each of these is smaller than what's on the door over here. So I'm going to show you, see how much of a difference there is in this. If you look in the door here, come on in. Look in the door, there's the latch. And look at the size of that rod running up to that's the back of the door handle. Look at the size of the rod running down from there to that. Look at that connection. That's all metal, and it's all metal clips on it. That's metal clip. Down there at that end. I'm 100% sure on that one, that may be plastic, but this one here, here, that's a metal clip. And there's probably one more in there somewhere, but it's down there, I think. I can't really see it right there. That's metal. So that idea's out. We're leaving that one in there because, I mean, if it worked for 52 years with metal, then metal it's going to be. We're going to leave it in there. So one other thing I'm going to do is these doors are in decent shape. You know, Old Car Alley was showing his work on this door he was doing, and this one, it's got the same kind of material sprayed in. This is sound deadening, and they didn't go crazy with it. They just put a light coat on it. But it's, since this door gets moisture down in it from the rain, then it's sort of surface rusted, and that stuff is trying to come off of there. So the only problem this one's had is up here at the front. I was telling Howard I thought he was going to, let's see, right up here in the front corner behind the hinge area. The camera's not like that, but anyway, down in that corner down in there, there's drains right there, but there's kind of a spot right there that can hold debris. So what has happened on this one, well, what's happened on this one is same as happened to his, and it has started to kind of bubble right there. The fender's doing it too, the exact same reason. Rocker's fine, but the door's starting to bubble, and that's coming from the inside out. It's not that bad right now. You know, it's just something needs to be addressed at some point, but I think the other one's doing it too. Yeah, this side's actually a little bit worse. You see, it's got a little hole in it. Probably got a lot of holes in it. You start to mess with it, but and then the fender's got a spot there too that's blown out. But that's just from junk sitting in there. This car was never up north. It's been down south this whole time. So it's just what happens. That's why you have a car like this. You need to take the time to go in and clean the doors out periodically. So I'm gonna do a little scraping and stuff on that junk in the doors, and I'm just gonna go through these. All I'm gonna do on them right now is I'm gonna go fluid film them on the inside, and that should keep them in good shape. Things, it'll arrest hopefully whatever is going on in there, and then one day we'll come back. If we feel like it, we'll come back and deal with that, because it's got a little bit, needs a little bit on the quarters and the trunk and stuff. So we'll address that though. We'll get there with it. All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap this up here for these video clips that I've been doing. I'm going to put them all into a video for you. And this is just an update. We're not at a stopping point at all. We're at a continuing onward point. And a lot to do on this car, but I've got quite a bit done. I got door panels done, headliner in, waiting on carpet. And then we're also waiting on a the front windshield seal is here, but the rear is special ordered, and so it's having to come from whoever makes that. So it's on the way at some point. But there's a lot of small stuff to do in the meantime. I can't hang anything else on the front of the headliner, like the visors of the mirror, anything like that, because it's going to be in the way of putting the glass in, so I can't do that yet. But the doors are all finished up and all that good stuff. So what I've been picking away at is I got visors ready to go in here, except that I'm going to re-dye them. They're a little bit too light. So I'm going to take them in the house this evening and tomorrow evening and work away at masking those off. It's a little bit tedious, but we'll do that. Then I got the, those are the retainers for the seat belts. Those go up under the visors. And they, you can click the shoulder belts into those if you don't care to use the shoulder belts. And then I've fixed up my kick panels, which these kick panels are the originals, and they are in okay condition. They're not great, but one thing also I've been dealing with too is starting to pick away at is to work on these thresholds. These are where the door opens up and you look down, and where the carpet is. It's actually that's looking from the inside out, and this is not done. I'm just playing around with it to see how it's going to work with some different things, and I've got to get some more sandpaper and supplies and things like that to finish this up. I've taken it up to 800 grit with sandpaper, and I think this is aluminum. It's not stainless that I'm aware of, but you have to be pretty aggressive with this to get these to look good, because they are anodized originally, anodized aluminum, and so you have to get that anodizing off. You can see there's sanding marks in there. I know about that. Like I said, we're not done yet. But anyway, with some work on these, then these should be able to come out to almost like a mirror-like finish. If you ever watch Retro Chad's old videos from Texas, you remember he loved mirror-like finishes, and so did I. So anyway, we're going to work on that, and I need to work on I've got to rust treat one of my, where the door opens up over there where the rocker panel is. It's not rusted out, but it's got some surface rust, so I have to deal with that. And all that, and then I think when I get all this little stuff done that I enjoy working on, like these thresholds and all this stuff, I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to probably drag that gas tank out and deal with that. Reseal the gas tank and work on the trunk a little bit. One thing I'm going to have to work on too is that top of that dash right there, because it's faded. It's a lot lighter now than it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a dark brown suede finish, and it's faded over the last 52 years, so I'm going to repaint that. I think I don't know if I can get the paint coat or not, but I pulled off part of the padding off the dash that's a match to it, and so we'll see. And someone's asked me about this dashboard here also. That dashboard is in poor condition, and it's got cracks all across it, and if you're in the South, you say across with a T on the end of it. Not supposed to, but you do anyway. All the way across there's cracks, and that thing's dried up. And this is a year I'm not going to show you, because I want to keep my work kind of a secret so far in there. Anyway, got to keep some excitement building, right? So anyway, that thing, this car, this year only, I think 67 was different, and 68 is different, and 69 is different as far as the dashboards go, as far as the restraint system. I think 67 had just a top pad. 68 has a top pad and a bottom where your knees are padded along the bottom. The Fury I had was a 68 also, and that was the same way. And then 69, like that Dart out there, only has a top pad, again, because it has shoulder belts. So it's kind of strange, but that's why they did it. So I'm going to deal with that, and then we're going to be getting ready to put glass in. And the front windshield seal, is here. But the rear window seal was hard to find and is on special order. I guess they have to make it. So it's on the way, hopefully. And they had to make the carpet special order, and they had to make the headliner special order. Everything on this thing was special order. So we got to do that. And it's getting to be one of these things that things here and there that I thought, well, I can let that ride. Now, when I make everything else look like new again, it makes what I've not dealt with, not touched yet, look like crap. So, okay then. So anyway, I think that is it. And I'm going to wrap it up here. And all good. I still got lots of details on this stuff. I have to order find another little retainer ring for the remote rear mirror, because this one is in poor condition. I tried to polish that a little bit. I think I didn't even bother taking the polish off because it's pitted real bad. So anyway, that's not good. It don't look good. So that's not gonna work. So that, and I got clips to go around the front to put in for the windshield trim, and I've ordered the ones from the back and they got here, but I think they sent me the wrong ones. Because when I took the clips off the front, the front and rear clips, as I remember, all I have left is just bits and pieces of them here, but they were similar to that, and the ones that they sent me for the back, for the rear glass trim, they don't look like that. So I may have to end up sending those back. It's one thing that you have to deal with when you're fixing up old stuff like this is you get people sending you parts that aren't any good, or they're the wrong parts. They don't know what they're talking about. I tried to fix this thing, and as you can see, I melted it accidentally. Trying to heat it up with a ray gun, and it didn't work. So I hated to waste $10 to buy another one, but I'm going to buy another one because this one didn't fit right. So it's junk. Anyway, I think that's about it, guys. So I'm going to wrap up, and appreciate you hanging here with me. This is a long project. It's turned into one, but we're on the downward slope. I think things are going to start definitely picking up even faster now. So I haven't decided if I'm going to have the glass put in or I'm going to try to put it in myself. The big fight that I had getting it out makes me not want to try to put it in, but we'll see. And that's another one of these things that I get so frustrated because I go on the internet trying to find some tips and tricks for putting a windshield in or a rear glass in. And all it is like, it's like if you're standing in front of an audience with a microphone and you ask, everybody tell me at one time how you put window glass in. And all these different people tell you different ways. You do that, you do this, you do that. And they all tell you like one little bit of it. They say, I've complained about this. If you're ever going on forums, for whatever reason, guys will not just take the time to type out a coherent answer They won't say, well, first you need to do this, then you do that, then you do this, and then you do that, and then you get a helper, and then you do this, and this, and this, and then that, and you use this, and use this, and use this to put it in with. These supplies, they don't ever do that. It's like, you have one person says, use boodle sealer. Then you have the next person say, takes two people. Then you have the next person say, okay, well, do this. So, why can't people do that? Just answer the person's question. I've had to go on there before and log in and answer somebody, and I call them out. I say, you know what? I said, since nobody has provided a clear, coherent answer to this question, I'm going to help you out with this because I know the answer for it. All right, guys. Well, anyway, I'm going to sign off from Plymouth land here, and thanks for watching. I'll see you on another one.